have a website, pigcake.me. Check it out. Best thing to ever hit the internet since the internet started. You could get some dope threads. You could check out what I have available in the Pigcake Magic Academy. Scroll through the lessons. I know what you're thinking, all right? I already know what you're thinking. You're saying, hey, it's Pigcake, all right? Based on his reputation on Only Magicians on Facebook, you know that he's gonna be a terrible magician. He's gonna give you terrible advice. I'm gonna tell you not to carry around a deck of cards because I think that it's the equivalent of the second Holocaust. Oh, look, there's Pigcake again making fun of my sponge ball routine. And he says that it's the equivalent of the second Holocaust. You're thinking it's going to be the same thing, but for thumb tips. No. All right. And I know you're also thinking, hey, you're going to be positive about a magic gimmick. What happened, huh? Did you finally see a vagina even though you're a magician? No. All right, none of that. This is just one of my favorite gimmicks, and in this video, we're going to talk about why the thumb tip is the single greatest gimmick in the entirety of magic. Now, I've talked before about the idea of overt and covert gimmicks. Now, here's the thing. I hate being virgin-y when it comes to these videos because these are on a public forum, right? And then people see these videos. Maybe it's potential people that might want me to insert myself inside of them. And they say, man, you're a real loser. You're here talking about magic tricks for 15 minutes at a time. I can't allow myself to be penetrated by somebody like you. I hate that. So today I'm going to try to find a nice midpoint and still talk about something that's very virgin-y, but something that I'm inherently passionate about. So this is the thumb tip. Now, thumb tip is a gimmick that is used by magicians primarily to make things vanish. The first thing you learn with a thumb tip is you put a little bit of silk in here and then the silk disappears. That's the single worst thing you can do with a thumb tip. But the best thing about a thumb tip is that it's a covert gimmick. I've already talked about this before. You have overt gimmicks and you have covert gimmicks. Overt, for those of you guys that have a reading level that is not surpassed 4th grade yet. Overt means out there. It means something that's apparent, something that's visible. So what I would consider to be an overt gimmick would be sponge balls, a deck of playing cards, all right? Your Gazinta box, your hippity hop rabbits, okay? The standards, a rope. These are all gimmicks that I would consider to be overt, meaning you take it out of your pocket and you tell the spectator, here I have a rope that I carry on my pocket. You fucking rapist. Here I have a deck of cards that I keep in my pocket. You fucking rapist. The thumb tip breaks this rule because this is a gimmick that they don't know that you have. This is a covert gimmick, something that is hidden, something that only you know that you have. So if you keep this in your pocket, guess what? Unless somehow they manage to reach into your pocket and see this, which at that point you might as well just do what you've always wanted to do, and because there's no explaining this. There's no explaining carrying a fake plastic thumb on you. But you're most likely not going to get caught holding this in your pocket. And they're not going to frisk you and ask you what the hell this is inside of your pocket. So this is a covert gimmick, something that only you know exists. And yet you could use this for a variety of stuff. You could make stuff disappear. You could switch things. You could change color. This is a very, very versatile gimmick, and I think it's definitely one of the best things you could carry on you. This one in particular is a plastic thumb tip. They carry them in a vinyl that you could kind of squeeze. This one's hard and rigid, so you could put like a match in here. You could stuff a cigarette in here, a lit cigarette, and put it out and make that disappear. This is one of those gimmicks that I would definitely say is okay for you to carry around if you're gonna decide to do tricks. I know, I hate it. I hate myself for saying it, but nobody's gonna know you have this, all right? So it's okay for you to carry this on you. You could literally do anything with this. Like if you have a receipt inside of your pocket, you could literally take the receipt, crumble it up into a ball, and then make it disappear. It's one of my favorite gimmicks of all time. You could do anything you want. Just walk around, all right? Go to a restaurant. Just take a little bit of a jog. That's good advice, not only as a magician, but also as a human. Take a little bit of a jog and a walk and look around as to what you could do with this. You could get a leaf and make it disappear. You could get a leaf and you could get a brown leaf and then change it into a leaf that's alive and green. That's just off the top of my head. That's because I'm a genius and I'm able to think in a 4th dimensional way. So you can do whatever it is that you want with the thumb tip. That's what I like about it. And again, it's not a gimmick that they see. It's not a gimmick that is going to be apparent to them. Now, the one thing that I do have to say that is a drawback to the thumb tip is that you are going to feel guilty. You're gonna feel guilty, especially if you have the wrong technique. And a thumb tip can teach you a lot about misdirection. It can teach you a lot. Pretty much the idea that spectators are not gonna be looking for something that they don't know exists, but you're gonna have to overcome that guilt and have this on your thumb and point it right at their stupid beady eyes and laugh at them, because you know that you have something on that they don't know you have that is gonna kill them. So that teaches you a lot when it comes to magic, misdirection, and confidence when it comes to performing. Now there's a bunch of techniques that you have to show your hands empty without necessarily showing it in a way. You don't want to do this. This is terrible. This is good. This is good. This one right here is also good. You're pointing it at them. You're not doing this, because then they're going to say, hey, you have a growth on your thumb, sir. Another thing you don't want to do with thumb tips is you don't want to make a silk vanish. It's a little bit of a message for those of you guys that are in the magic community and you still think it's okay to make silks disappear inside of your hand. First of all, it's the year 2020. You look like a mentally ill virgin. If you take a silk out of your pocket, they're going to think that you are special needs. I don't care if it gets good reactions. Okay, I don't care if you've been doing it for years. I don't care if you've been handed down silks from your grandfather who survived some sort of catastrophe. It doesn't matter. You look like a mentally ill virgin every time you take out a silk. And here's the worst part. Spectators are aware of thumb tips. They're aware of thumb tips. So you might say, oh man, they're gonna catch me with a thumb tip. No, the only way they're gonna catch you is if you make a silk vanish, because that's the only thing they think this does. The only thing that spectators think a thumb tip does is to make a silk vanish. So the moment you make a silk, you take a silk out and you put it in your thing and then you start doing this thing and then you make it disappear, they're gonna say, oh, you have a fake thumb. But you could do the exact same thing with a receipt. You could grab a receipt, you can put it in your hand, you could do all the little moves, you can make it disappear, and they're not gonna know where the blue fuck it went. All because of the change of the fact that we're in fucking 2020, carrying around handkerchiefs like it's all good. So if you make a silk vanish, typically spectators are gonna associate that with a fake thumb, because these are common. These are common in everywhere. These are common in early magic books. These are common in magic kits. These are common pretty much everywhere. You could look online and you're gonna see this. Spectators seem to be aware of this, but they're only aware of the fact that this can make silks vanish. So keep that in mind and don't use this to make a silk vanish. Don't carry silks. Don't carry decks. Don't carry sponge balls. I'm here trying to save you guys, all right? I'm the savior of magic here, all right? It's 2020. I'm here to save an art that needs desperate saving, all right? By watching these videos, you guys are getting crucial bits of information that you're not gonna find anywhere else, all right? You're not gonna find other magicians talking about this crucial information, trying to improve you not only as a magician, but also as a person, which is more important. You're not gonna find that anywhere else on any other channel. Another interesting thing you could do about thumb tips is you could make things vanish in things. So let's say you have a pair of dirty socks here. Right, let's say you have a pair of dirty socks that you just left on a chair because you're an absolute slob. Now what you do is that you could grab this, you have a little bit of a thumb tip, you could just make a little bit of a well here, right? You're not doing one of these actions like I've seen magicians do. You're just putting the thumb tip underneath right there. You see that? You could grab a cigarette, you put it inside, right? And then you stuff your thumb in there. It's gonna put the cigarette out and it's gonna look like you've just burned the fabric. But guess what? The cigarette vanished and the fabric is intact. It's one of my favorite routines by Jeff Sheridan, which is cigarette and coat. You get a coat from somebody, you borrow a jacket, you put the cigarette inside of the jacket, inside of the thumb tip, you make it vanish, everyone freaks out, you're getting laid, women are jumping all over you, you have 4 of them that you got pregnant, you're gonna have to deal with child support payments now for the rest of your life, but you know what? You got the nut. You got the nut, and that's all that counts. It's one of my favorite things to do. When it comes to that, you can make things vanish inside of things. So they're not even thinking of your hands. They're not even thinking of anything. They're thinking how, where did it go inside of this object? I don't understand how this is possible. And then you get the adulation. So think about it. A thumb tip is very versatile. It's a lot of things that you could do with it. One of my favorite set of DVDs. It might not carry on today just because Gary Darwin is one of these magicians that's very drab to look at when it comes on DVD, especially with this Penguin Magic thumb tip encyclopedia. But I love those. It's a 3-set DVD on thumb tips where he just goes over different ideas. It's really, I want to say, a half-baked video. I feel like they shot it in one afternoon and they were all hammered, but you still get a lot of ideas when it comes to this and different types of thumb tips. So that's something I would look up if you're interested in looking in this. And if it all fails, you could just have this as a gag. You could just do one of these. Look at the mirror over here. You could just hold it like this and trick people and go, no, no, it's not real. It's not that small. It's not that small. But you could just do this. Look at that. That's funny, right? I don't know if you can see that there. Let's see. Yeah, that's funny. That's kind of funny. I like that. That's a funny bit. So that's a thumb tip, man. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. I hope you guys are encouraged to purchase thumb tips. You could buy them anywhere. Amazon, or Penguin Magic. You could Illusionist, I think. Now, here's the thing, though, when it comes about buying thumb tips. If you are an African American individual, I'm sorry, they do sell thumb tips for African American individuals. They're pretty racist. They're pretty racist. It's the equivalent of blackface, I feel, when it comes to thumb tips. So keep that in mind. But one of my favorite magicians, again, Jeff Sheridan, proposed this idea. Again, this goes way before Jeff Sheridan, but he's the first person that said this, that you could paint it orange, all right? You could paint a thumb tip orange and still use it if you're a good magician. It's going to be a little bit difficult for you to find an adequate thumb tip. So just keep that in mind. If you are a person of color trying to purchase this, the magic community is full of cis white males. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Vote Bernie, and he'll probably instill the thumb tips to be all equal colors and make them in a whole plethora of different colors for different people. Trump wouldn't do that. Trump would probably ban the thumb tips. So vote Bernie. Vote Bernie Sanders. Socialism. That's the video. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for sticking through this. A little bit of a rant, a little bit of a ramble. I hope you guys are enjoying these. Hope you guys are subscribed if you're not already. Hope you guys are sharing these videos with your magical friends. All right, so you guys could also spread the word, spread the gospel, all right, of the pig. Again, if you want to look like the pig, you could check out my merch. You could wear these shirts around and get questionable looks by people. For some reason, I don't know why people tend to look at me weird when I wear this shirt, and they say, that's a little bit, what does that mean? I don't understand what that means. Now, you're not going to be able to get this shirt. This is a limited edition shirt that says Pink Lives Matter. The shirts that I'm selling say Pig Lives Matter. So just a little bit of a difference. Might be odd, might be weirder to wear it, but you know what? You'll be repping the pig, and you'll be supporting this channel. So check it out. Links in the description below. Let's see if I can flex out for the end of this video. Let's see if I can flex out. I'm gonna try to flex out here. I couldn't do it.